girls, grab your beers.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so one Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Incarceration, America's rock, metal, and tattoo festival with Slipknot. Falling in Reverse, Five Finger Death Punch, plus Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Beartooth, Knocked Loose, Lamb of God, Parkway Drive, I Prevail, In This Moment, and so many more. Report to the Ohio State Reformatory on July 18th through 20th, 2025 to face your sentencing. 3 days of rock, tattoos, and the return of the Haunted Blood Prison. Passes for Incarceration are on sale now at incarceration.com. Zombified.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. And real quick housekeeping note, if you're watching us on YouTube, on Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, please hit that follow and subscribe button. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever podcast platform you utilize, please hit that follow and subscribe button. And hit us up on the social medias. You know, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, X now. You know, all that good stuff. Hit us up on there so we can continue to bring you conversations like the one I'm bringing you today. I'm excited to have this conversation because, you know, everybody knows I interview a lot of people in the music world on here. And then being a veteran, I interview a lot of veterans. And worlds are colliding tonight because I'm talking with a veteran that's big and involved in the music world, talking with Christian Hopkins of the organization ROKAVET. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just taking it easy, enjoying the snow.
Oh, yeah. I like to say I'm enjoying the snow here as well, but, you know, not really.
No, I hear you. We welcome it. We get like one time a year. So when it snows for us, it's like a big deal. And we got like almost 11 inches the other day. So that was actually a big one for us. Nice.
And where are you at again?
I'm in Roland, Oklahoma. I'm like right on the line of Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio. So it's just, you know, it's one of the many seasons we get here. And
right.
Is what it is, man. But yeah, usually when I have people on for the first time, man, I like to get a quick background. So do you remember originally what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh man, when I was little and wanted to be something, it was an astronaut or a Ninja Turtle. When I was little, and then as I got older, I wanted to be an author, and I wanted to work in like music journalism, like gonzo journalism. Like I wanted to do Hunter S. Thompson was like one of my like heroes growing up, and I loved the way that like he did everything and like he put himself into the action to write about it and to document it. And I thought that was amazing. So as I got older, that was something I wanted to be, was an author and follow in the lead of Hunter S. Thompson.
Gotcha. And then, you know, when was it that you felt the calling to serve your country?
Around 2006, I got married and had a baby on the way, and I didn't really have any prospects coming in. And I talked to a friend that was like, you know, why don't you go up to the recruiter's office? Went up to the local recruiter's office, and it took me a time or two to go in there. And I finally settled on and did it. And I signed up as a cook because I love cooking. Cooking is like my Xanax. Like if I can get on a stove and I can whip something up real good and feed everybody, it makes me feel good. It calms me down. So I joined up as a cook in the Army out of Poto, Oklahoma is where I went to sign up, and then went to Fort Knox for my basic training.
Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Had some technical difficulties. It froze up for a second. I don't know if it's that snow affecting us or what, but but yeah, you were saying that you joined the military and became a cook or whatever, or can you
92 golf. Yeah, cooking is loved being in a kitchen. I just love that atmosphere. We always had the music going in the kitchen. All the cooks had the same kind of attitude. You just kind of went with the flow and did what you want. And so I was like, I'll join it. They offered me that job. They offered me a big bonus if I joined to be a cook. And so I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And they sent me off, and I was one of the last classes in basic training to go through Fort Knox, Kentucky. And I went in the middle of winter at Fort Knox, Kentucky to do my basic training. And that was a absolute nightmare. You talk about a hellacious winter.
Damn. Yeah, so you already got exposure to snow there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that for sure. And then, what was, growing up where you grew up, like what was some of the oddest things you experienced then going into the military life?
The oddest things, a lot of people, I was that guy that no one ever expected to join the military. I was like, I told people I was going to join the military, and nobody believed me. It was like everybody thought it was a joke. I was always the class clown. I was always the guy that wanted to have fun. Everyone was like, oh, you won't make it. And even in my own head, I was like, I'm not going to make it through basic training. It's going to kick my ass. And made it through basic training and blew my own mind. And then after that, it was like, holy shit, if I can cuss, holy cow, if I can complete this, then, there's a lot I could do. But, I grew up around, I had a good group of friends growing up. I got into some trouble a little before the military, but nothing bad. A lot of my trouble didn't come till after the military, but I've got that now on the straight and narrow and doing right.
Yeah. So yeah, first, it's an adult program. We speak veteran on here, so it's all right. And then, dude, yeah, totally relate, because it's like, I was kind of the same way, class clown, messing around, got in a little bit of trouble. I was originally supposed to go into the Marine Corps and got myself in some trouble where the Marines were just like, nope. And because it ended up making the papers and it didn't look good on the Corps. But thankfully the Navy took me. And I just had to say kind of a couple Hail Marys, and I wouldn't do it again. And whatever,
my original thing, I wanted to be a badass. I was like, I want to join the Air Force and be a pilot. And when I went to the Air Force recruiting station, they were like, you're too tall to be a pilot, because I'm 6'2". And I was like, really? There's a height requirement? And so that just like shattered all of that. So
oh, no shit.
I went next door, and it was the Army recruiting station, and they give you all the promises and the dollar signs. I was like, oh, this sounds good. I could start my family off good with something like this. So
nice. And then during your time in, without like breaking OPSEC, what would you say is some of the worst places you served at?
Man, I went to Solder City. My very first experience in Baghdad. I went to Solder City in a little base. We had about 90 people. We took over a chip factory / apartment complex. And my first 10 days there, we had a casualty of one of our guys come in, and we had 2 cooks on the base that handled the, 100 soldiers. And of course, we're in charge of all the ice. We're in charge of all the food. We're in charge of all that stuff. So when our casualty came in, it was my first time being exposed to that in the military world. And they brought him in a body bag, and we had to build that body bag up with ice and keep the body fresh and get him onto the helicopter and send him off knowing that he was dead. And I remember, looking at this man that I had just talked to a couple hours ago before he went out on a mission, and realized, you know, I'm in some shit now. It kind of like the first night that I dropped in, they brought us in the middle of the night. I landed in Kuwait, and we were in Kuwait for like a week, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool shit. I got a theater, I got a Starbucks, I got a McDonald's. I was like, I'm cool with this. And then, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning one night, they come in and they're like, you know, you know, get up. And we got up, and they put us on a heli and took us into the middle of a city. And I remember coming into this little complex that was, you know, no bigger than a Quick Trip, and had one wall around it. And that's where they dropped us off at with all of our gear. And we went in and had a cot, you know, sitting in the middle of this big wide open room. And then as time went on over that course of over that period of time, we built it into a home, but it was every day mortar attacks. It was the first 20, 30 days, the first month, man, it takes some adjusting to get used to, especially for somebody that I grew up, you know, a wannabe gangster. I always thought that I was like the tough guy, and I was the badass. I was the G. I wanted to be a rapper. And you get put into a situation like that where there's some real shit going on in front of you. And, you know, you're a cook. You're not infantry. You're not artillery. You're not any of that stuff. You're a cook. And all of a sudden it's right in your face. And you realize right then and there, you got to buck up, and it's time to be a man at 21 years old, 20 years old. It took a lot out of me that first 30 days, but, oh.
Yeah, man. I ended up, my last deployment, I actually was at Arifjan in Kuwait. And so, you know, I mean, and I got to stay around the Starbucks and the, you know, Camel Burger, McDonald's and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a different, you know, different thing, man. What during your time, and I remember too, unfortunately, you know, being there a couple times, seeing those flag draped coffins go home for angel flights and stuff. And, you know, that was like kind of like for me, that was my wake up call, man, where it's just like this was the first deployment that I had been on out of all my years of service that I actually had kids at home. So it changes like things, you know.
See, I had my first daughter. Excuse me. My first daughter was born, she was born while I was in basic training, and then my second daughter was actually born while I was deployed. And so, yeah, like you said, it really puts it into perspective. Like, I didn't have one kid at home; I had two kids, and it really like drove things home. Like, you know, I'm a dad. I've got to do stuff right at this point. And so I tried my hardest, but like a lot of military men that go in, and women, they experience what goes on back at home when they're overseas.
Yeah, I had two daughters as well, and it was just like, it was just different. I was like, no matter what, you know, before when it was just me, you know, it's just like you kind of have that whatever attitude, you know, over there, whatever happens. You're a little bit maybe more dangerous, I guess, you know. But, you know, I had two daughters at home, man. That changed everything. And I was like, no matter what, I'm getting home.
Oh, yeah. Being a girl dad is a whole other thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, man. But, you know, it's like it also like I knew downtime when I was over there was just like probably the worst for me, too, because then I'd be in my head thinking about home and everything like that. So I was like volunteering for all kinds of like DV missions. And I got to be like do security for the Armed Forces entertainers when they came through and played. I was like Scott Stapp's security guard when he played our base.
I did that for the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders.
Nice. Yeah, I think we had the Philadelphia Eagles cheerleaders or something.
Yeah, we had a comic. We had a comic from Last Comic Standing. We had the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders, Craig Morgan, and there was somebody else that was there that came and did. They did a show for us at our little base with 100 people. Like, we didn't have to go to Kuwait to do it. They actually came into our little area and did it, and that actually like meant a lot. Like to know that someone would come. Like, we're in the middle of Baghdad. There's mortars going off. You can see, you know, RPGs going overhead, and they're they're standing here telling comedy to us, trying to make us laugh. And that downtime is where I found, you know, my true love for music at, I think, too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I was in, it was still like the iPod. So I had like, I
had a
filled that thing up before I went, you know,
a Kazoom, or what was it called? It wasn't an iPod. It was the other brand. It didn't last that long. It's a Microsoft one.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. But it's like, you know, I was doing the concert promotion thing before I deployed. So I was also doing like, and I had already started doing kind of interviews, and they would send me like advanced CDs to review and stuff like that. So I was throwing all that stuff on my iPod. I had stuff to listen to when I was over there to take my mind off things and get to the gym and all that.
I got into it, Avenged Sevenfold, and
a couple care packages came over, and all the guys were excited because it's like I'm good friends with Hatebreed, and Josta actually sent me something with Hatebreed, and then for his record label at the time. You know, and I shared it with all the guys.
See, I wish I had the friends then that I have now, like Josie Scott from Saliva and people like that. Like, that would have been great to have while I was over there now, but now I've got that. Now that life's changed around a little bit. Now, I've got those advantages.
Now, then what was, I mean, you said that, you know, that was your worst place you were deployed. Where was your all-time favorite, would you say?
My all-time favorite was just being back home side, like back stateside. Like,
yeah,
I went on that one deployment. It just lasted a little longer than it should have lasted. You know, we wound up having to stay over there longer than what I would have liked to. They told us 11, 12 months, and we did like 16, I think. So it lasted a minute. But to come back home, and when I came back home, I got to see my newborn daughter for the first time. And because I didn't make it home for her delivery. And my buddy, actually, I got one of my friends, he passed away recently, but he was home, and I got him to go into the delivery room, and he video called me and filmed everything. So I got to like watch her be born and stuff. And he was like, "Don't ever make me do that again."
And your wife probably said the same thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And then what would you say is like one of your pet peeves with civilians since transitioning out of the military?
My pet peeves with civilians. I don't know, just like the lack of structure, the lack of respect that some people have nowadays. I don't know, it blows my mind. And I still point. I don't know, you point like this when you point to something. I notice when somebody points or something like that get to me. I'm trying to think of like pet peeves that civilians give me. It's just the loud, obnoxious, like no respect for people, the Karens, the just the assholes that are out there that, you know, come on. Like,
yeah, complain about first world problems, right?
Yeah, we're all, oh, that there it is. That's exactly what I told her. I've been telling my wife, you know, while I was over there in one of the most war-torn, poor countries I've ever been in my life, I met the happiest, nicest people I've ever met in my life that didn't have shit.
Yep.
And so to hear people over here be like, "Oh, I can't pay my phone bill," that doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I know people that are sleeping on a rug in their driveway in the middle of Iraq that are smiling and would give you the shirt off their back if they could. Like,
yep.
So that's it.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's like as many friends as I've made it like yourself in the music world, entertainment world, you know, it's like, you know, I feel for what a lot of them are dealing with right now, you know, in LA and California and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, I haven't forgotten the regular people that are still suffering in North Carolina, you know, that lost everything.
I was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. That's where I was stationed. I know Asheville, North Carolina. I know all those areas. I got buddies that live in Asheville right now that are still struggling from you know, what went on. Yeah. And he owns his name's Morgan Dossett. He was actually one that was stationed there with me. He owns a skateboarding charity where he takes veterans out and takes them on long distance longboarding rides and teaches them how to skateboard and buys them skateboards and gives them that kind of outlet. It's really fun, really cool. Like, something I could never do, but he can do it.
Yeah. I know. I'm too old. I'd break a hip or something, you know.
Yeah, I hurt myself.
Be at the VA trying to get that service connected, but
Right.
but then what would you say is something that you'll always carry with you from your time of service?
Man, the brotherhood. I still talk to those. I still talk to the guys that I deployed with, like Morgan and some other people. I still talk to them, if not on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Like, I love those guys. We went through hell together, and I don't feel like anything else I've done in life has been as dramatic. I don't want to say dramatic, but as intense as what we went through together. You know, we went on missions together, and we watched some of our brothers die in roadside bombs. I've seen an IED blow up a truck in front of me and kill a really good friend, Brad Davis, in April 2009, April 22nd, 2009. We were on a resupply mission. We weren't doing nothing. We weren't doing anything. It was the middle of the night. And the people that were on that convoy with me, I'll never forget, because, you know, we all experienced that together. And it's like tragedy bonding. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, trauma bonding and stuff.
Yeah, trauma bonding. We went through some shit, and since then, you know, I've lost some of the buddies from them from that time to addiction, which I've suffered myself, and it's just something I hold really dear is the brotherhood that we had over there, the camaraderie that we had over there, and that's kind of what we've tried to build with ROKAVET is the camaraderie again. Trying to bring that back.
Yeah, and then what would you say? And I want to get into that with you and stuff. What would you say back during your time in is one of the funniest stories that you feel you could share?
Oh, my call signs. Okay, yeah, being a cook, my call sign was Strudel Boy, and my sergeant's call sign was Muffin Man, and then we had Cupcake. So when we'd come over the radios, and it would be like, you know, Strudel Boy, and that would always stick out in my mind is that and the perversion that the veterans have, the sense of humor that veterans have.
Yeah,
like, you're on a base with 100 dudes, and you know, not to sound crude or anything, but like one female comes on to the base, and it's like all 100 guys are like, oh, she wants me. And in you know, in all of our minds, we know that's not the case.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also in all of our minds, it's like, yeah, she does. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. But yeah, my call signs, our call signs for the cooks, mine was Strudel Boy, and then we had Muffin Man, and Cupcake. And I always found that shit hilarious because we were with an infantry company, Charlie Company, out of it with 2505 in Fort Bragg, and that was the ones they assigned us, and it stuck with me. And when I talk to my guys to this day, they're still like, "Hey, Strudel Boy, how's it going?" And you know, I still deal with it. So
nice. And then, what would you say is one of your greatest hopes for the country you've been willing to give your life for?
Man, just to find peace. Like the divide that this country has right now, it breaks my heart. Like, it truly does. I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that, but like I have people that believe different than me. I have my best friends. I have committee members. I have people in my charity. I have people all around me that have different beliefs than what I believe, and I believe different than they do. We're on different subjects, but we get along. But then I see the rest of the country, you know, there's just this infighting stuff that's going on. And I hate to see that, because other countries are going to look at that as a weakness,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I know they will. Like,
Oh yeah.
they will look at that as a weakness. They're like, these people can't even keep their shit together with themselves, you know? So now's the time. Like, I talk to my wife daily. I'm like, oh God, you know, this is an opportunity for somebody to do something. And it's scary to think about that. You know, like the shit that just went on in New Orleans.
Like, oh yeah.
Oh man, that shit's heartbreaking as hell. And then the Trump Tower thing with the Cybertruck, like, I don't care what anybody says. I love conspiracies. I'm one of those guys.
Oh, I'm with you.
I love conspiracies.
Yeah, conspiracy friendly podcast for sure.
You blow up a Cybertruck at Trump Tower. There's something there. Like, there's something there. And he was an active duty military. Like, that blew my mind when I found that out. And holy shit. But yeah, no, I love conspiracies. The UFOs and the drones over New Jersey right now, I'm fascinated with that. The alien thing, I'm an alien fanatic. I got aliens tattooed all over my body. My name is Trippy Vet. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm, all about aliens, UFOs, and outer space, and I'm that guy. I'm the one that'll sit there and talk to you for 2 hours about, the cosmos.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. You got to check out some of my other episodes that I've gotten in trouble on YouTube with talking about some of the things we talked about. But
I believe it.
But yeah, man, like you were saying though, that's something that more people need to kind of take a look at. I think it's us as veterans. I know one thing I learned to start, like when I started like learning that maybe my government isn't completely honest with me is when I worked for my government,
Yeah, 100.
And I'd be deployed, and they'd be saying something on in the chow hall on the news about an area we were just at, and I'm like, "Did you see that? I didn't see that. What are they talking about?"
No, I did the same thing. I heard about, like, right in the vicinity that I was at, some shit was going on, and I was like, that didn't happen. We're here. Like, nothing like that ever happened. I met, let's see, Bush and Obama came through my chow hall while I was stateside, and I got to serve them, dinner and stuff like that, and got to meet them and got my little coin from them and stuff like that. But yeah, seeing stuff on the news while you're in the military, or especially deployed, and you hear about something, somebody's like, "Oh, I heard this happened over there," and it's like,
yeah,
no, not quite like that. It didn't go exactly like that. Like,
that's why it's like, we've kind of got, because of that experience that our unfortunately our civilian counterparts don't have. I mean, they say ignorance is bliss, but it's just like, man, if you only knew, watch and read between the lines, because like you were just saying, man, it's scary what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think this is just the beginning. Yeah. It's just like I try and teach my kids situational awareness, to know your surroundings.
Yep.
To stay vigilant.
I've got my oldest daughter. She's about to be 18. I've got her homeschooled right now because that's what she chooses, and I feel safe with that. My youngest daughter, she wants to go to school. Her school's had, like, let's see, just in the past 3 months, five, 6 bomb threats and shooting threats.
Wow.
And we live in a small little town of like maybe 3,000 people. Like, so it's nuts, and I'm dealing with that shit every day. And being a father, being a military father at that, that awareness about everything, I'm always on that, and I try to teach my kids the same thing, like, what to watch out for, what kind of people, but you can't always tell those kind of people. Like, those kind of people could look like me or you, but their mannerisms tell you a lot. I've learned how to read
body language, man. You learn to read body language and the eyes, And my daughters were just in Punta Cana. They went for my youngest daughter just turned 21, so they went celebrate her birthday down in Punta Cana. And I'm nervous. First time they're out of the country. They both got passports, and I don't have Liam Neeson's set of skills, in case anything went down. But I try and plant the seed, and then all I can do is turn it over to God. And they made it home safe. They had a great time. I was jealous, but yeah, I think there's a lot on the horizon, unfortunately, and it's just like we definitely got to keep our eyes and ears open, man. One of the other things, unfortunately, that comes with our training and our service and our experiences in the military, is mental health. What do you feel we can do to break the stigma of mental health and PTSD?
God, man. Well, I mean, that's, I'm retired. My wife is my current wife is also ex-military, and she's 100% disabled, and it's from PTSD and other stuff. I'm at about 80%. I'm 80% disabled from PTSD and back problems and stuff. Man, PTSD comes in so many different forms, and it's, I've watched people that are my friends that are in my group within ROKAVET that I talked to 2 nights before, and he won tickets to a concert, and it was like, oh, he wrote me and he's like, hell yeah, dude, I can't wait to go to this concert. I'm pumped. And within 24 hours later, they find him dead from a suicide. And the PTSD, people need to understand that the signs from that aren't always, the person's not always going to look depressed. The person's not always going to be sad. The person's not always going to be angry. The person could be happy as shit one day, and then the next day you don't know what's going on. But what I try to tell everybody, around me is always check on somebody. Always check on your people. Like, no matter if they're feeling good, whether they're feeling bad, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. Let them know that, like, hey, I'm here for you if you need anything. Even if they're the happiest you've seen them ever, put your arm around them. Be like, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. And just that the instance of somebody telling them, I care about you, could be that one instance that lets them know, hey, maybe I should reach out before I think about this.
Yeah.
I'm a victim of, or not a victim. I've tried to commit suicide twice, with an OD once and with a hanging the other time. And I'm glad I failed at both of them. Like, that's something that I'm extremely happy that I failed at both. It made me tear up, but I'm extremely happy. But like I said, April 22nd of 2009, I watched an IED go off and kill one of my best friends. And April 20th of 2017, my wife at the time was murdered. And so April 20th and 21st and 22nd, I went through some stuff in 2017, and I tried to take my own life by ODing because of what I had seen and went through. And I'm glad I survived that, because if I wouldn't have survived that, I wouldn't be in the position that I am right now with the great group of people that I have right now. It's so hard to explain what I want people to look at PTSD as. Like, people think that it's some depressed person sitting in the corner of the room talking to themselves or having flashbacks and all that shit. That's not always what it is. Like, no. It's not. I've witnessed it firsthand, through friends and through myself. It can be one day you're the happiest person alive, and the next morning you don't wake up or they don't wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I can relate to that. I've had, I've been there in the past myself, doing a lot of numbing, through alcohol and drugs and other things, to not feel it. And I've been, I'm in recovery now. I got 15 years of sobriety now, but
great. I got 6 years clean off of heroin.
Awesome, man.
I still have my occasional drink. I don't want to say it's part of the lifestyle or what I live, because we don't promote that whatsoever. But you go to concerts, you get around it, you have fun, you get with your people.
Yeah.
You have a blast. And I wouldn't make even cream soda. My bad. But like, I'm not, heroin was my thing, and opiates. The military, I had a hernia surgery in 2008, and they put me on Dilaudid, and they didn't take me off of them. Like, they just left me on 4 milligram Dilaudid, and then when I got out of the military, they were like, "Hey, we're not going to pay for your Dilaudid anymore after 2 years of having me on them." And I didn't know, where to turn or what to do. So I went to the streets, and I became a heroin addict, and I became the worst version of myself that I've ever been. I've been to prison now. I'm one of those people. I tell people, like, I've been to war, and I've been to prison and been to war. Like, I've been to both kinds of war. I've been in war overseas, and I've been in war in the States, in the prison system. I got sentenced to 4 years in 2015. I got in trouble I want to say 3rd or 4th day home from the military. After I got discharged, I had smoked a joint, and this was back before it was legal down here. And I went grocery shopping with my kids, and we were coming back home, and I got pulled over for going, like, I think they said like 10 miles per hour under the speed limit. And they pulled me over. They arrested me for DUI for marijuana. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And when I went in front of the judge was like, "Oh, the fact that you're a veteran, you should know better than to drive on such a dangerous substance." And he gave me 4.5 years.
Wow.
And I did 1 year and 3 months in Oklahoma State Penitentiary. And, man, you talk about walking into an atmosphere that you're not prepared for. Walking into a prison, like, I thought I had been to war, I'd been to Iraq, I'd been to basic training, I'd been to all that. But walking into that situation, it's a whole other world.
Yeah.
And luckily I made it through. And even still, after I got out of prison, I still stayed on the drugs. I got worse in the drugs, actually. And like I said, I'm 6 years clean now. October 1st was my 6 years clean off of heroin, meth, all that stuff. And yeah, I'm so thankful for finally being clean. And the VA is the one that helped me. Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, VA. I want to give them a shout out because they saved my life. But they have a new, it's not new, I guess I've been out for 5 years now. Yeah. But they have a VA facility up there that holds about 40 veterans. And it's one of those rehab facilities that you go to where, in the civilian world, you would pay like $20,000 a month to go to it. Like, you get yoga, you get acupuncture, you get
nice.
You get the whole retreat like type rehab. And I went through that. I met my current wife there, and like I said, she's a veteran too. And we got out, we got married. We've been married for coming up on 6 years now. We got custody of my kids, and I'm proud to say that I'm sober. I'm proud to say I'm sober thanks to the VA. The VA did something good. Like, that was something that blew my mind. And luckily here in Fort Smith, we have a VA hospital that is amazing. Like, I go to acupuncture 2 times a month. I go to a chiropractor 2 or 3 times a month. Like, our VA is great. I hear people complain about the VA a lot, but our VA is top notch in my opinion.
Nice. Yeah. I feel it's come a long way as well. And what I was going to say too is, like, even though I got 15 years, sobriety and stuff, I going back to PTSD and stuff, it's just like, you don't know. Some days, my head will start telling me things that are a lie. Like we talked about the news when we were over there, lying about stuff. Dude, my own head will lie to me about reality, and 1 minute I'm like, having a great time out with family and friends and whatever. And then all of a sudden I'll get this like thought, man, you should just off yourself because you're a worthous piece of shit. Those are battles I still deal with, man. Constantly.
My wife just went through that recently with me. And I had surgery. I had I had 2 kidney. I've had 21 kidney stones since I was 18. And I had surgery on kidney stones a couple of months ago, and they put me on some meds. I don't know what they were, but they caused depression and some other stuff. And I went through a thing there where everything came flooding back to me, and I got those thoughts.
Yeah.
And man, when those came flooding back, that was something rough. That was,
yeah.
And I
Or just
know
like,
what you mean.
or, like people, they say, oh, you can't, the ones that don't know, like, you got all your limbs, so everything looks like you're all right. You shouldn't have it so bad or whatever, man. But it's like, yeah, exactly that. And then, it's like there's, I'm in chronic pain, man. I always deal with a lot of pain from I've got issues and injuries and stuff, man. And that adds up. And then you're cranky and pissed off, and
Yep.
So it's just like people just got to realize, don't judge a book by its cover, man, because it's like I might have all my digits still, but it's a struggle day to day, man. And we just got to try and find healthier ways to combat that, and have conversations like this to raise awareness.
Exactly. And it helps a lot. I've got bulged disc in my back. I've got bad knees. I've got bad ankles. I've got bad hips. All the above. I'm in pain every day. I use this CBD and THC pain stick. I use it on my spine and my hips and stuff every day. I don't use marijuana anymore because for some reason, medical marijuana, even here in Oklahoma when it's legal, it triggers something in me, and I can't use marijuana. So I don't. And people are amazed because I've always been this stoner kid, and so like people are like, "Oh, you want to hit this?" And I'm like, "No, I can't smoke anymore. Like I can't. Like it triggers this anxiety and this thing in me that's just like, nope.
That's what I try and tell people too, man. It's just like, because I even had like a VA person tell me, "Oh, you qualify for a medical card with your stuff," but I'm like, this ain't the same stuff I used to smoke growing up with my friends, man.
Exactly. Give me that.
And there's a reason why you want to legalize it now, because you guys did something to the DNA strain or whatever, man.
Give me that brick weed that I can smoke a whole blunt with and be okay, and feel good. Now,
like back in the day, now it's like the medical stuff is like, I don't know, man. I'm with you. And I got breathing issues from burn pits and stuff like that anyway. COVID hit me hard and messed me up. So I'd much be like you were, put on the roll-on or do like a gummy maybe or something like that.
I'm about to go through the burn pit stuff myself, and man, I have breathing issues really bad, and I vape. I stopped vaping for 2 years, and then I started vaping again, and now I'm feeling those breathing problems again, and I'm about to go through the burn pit thing, and see what's going on with that. But man, those burn pits are no joke.
Yeah.
Like I talk to people about the burn pits, and they're like, "It's just a burn pit," and I'm like, "No, you don't understand." Like, especially go ahead.
So in 2020, man, I got hit with COVID at the end of the year, and it was like me, my mom, and my youngest daughter. We all got it. We went to the same place. We all got it, and my daughter lost her taste and smell for a little while. She was wiped out in bed. My mom, who's, much older than me, had like one day she went into the hospital. Thankfully, got out. Dude, I had it the worst out of all of us because of my compromised breathing. I was in the hospital for like almost a week, and thank God I made it out of there because, I didn't get put on a vent or anything like that, man. That was a scary time, but it messed me up. And till this day, it's like, I try and work out. I try and do healthy stuff, but it's just like my cardio is the shit, man.
I need to. I never got COVID. Nobody. Well, my daughter got COVID. Me and my wife never got COVID, thankfully. But I was always worried. But we're also homebodies. Like my wife doesn't go to anything. I do all my concerts and stuff. Anybody that knows me, I go to all my concerts, my festivals, all that stuff. I do it alone. My wife, she has her own issues, and the way she deals with them, she doesn't like crowds, and I accept that. That's fine. But she accepts me going out and doing what I do and spreading my message. Luckily, I never got COVID. and I'm really thankful for that because I think COVID really would have fucked me up.
Yeah, and I can relate to, like I said, I used to do concert promotions and book bands and go to festivals all the time.
Yeah.
And when I would drink, or numb myself to deal with that. And I found out, after I got sober, it's like I can relate to what your wife. I mean, crowd, the anxieties, the festivals. I would get panic attacks. It was bad, man. And the longer I'm able to do this podcast, it's been kind of like part of my therapy, healing, and getting used to talking to people again. And I can go to festivals now today. Spend a little bit of time out in the crowd, but thankfully now, because of my connections and doing media and stuff,
you're back.
I have a place I can go in the back, and chill and get away from all the stuff,
Like I can go to Walmart and have a panic attack, but I can go to a festival with 100,000 people and I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a really strange situation to go through that. Like people are like,
I mean, if I had to stay out in the crowd the whole time, I probably wouldn't enjoy it. I wouldn't be able to get over that. But
now me, I'm a little different. I'll go crowd surfing. I'll jump in the mosh pit. I have a blast doing it. Like, but I don't know. I feel home. I feel at home in a concert setting. And I've met so many bands and I've met so many venue owners and I've been to and probably you have too, but I just feel comfortable in those places. Like,
oh yeah,
I know that those could be a target area, but I feel comfortable in those places. Like the music, for some reason.
I think, like you said, if it was a target area, I couldn't think of a better place to go. Than doing something I love.
Shout out to the Taylor Foundation and Mary Mosteller that you interviewed not too long ago.
Oh yeah,
I love that woman. I haven't got to meet her yet. I'm really hoping to meet her very soon. The Taylor Foundation has been nothing but great to ROKAVET, and Slipknot's a band that I've seen 21 times now. I saw them the first time in 1999 at Edgefest, and pretty much seen them almost every year since then, except for the years that I was in prison. But their angry music, as other people like to call it, is something that's calming to me.
Yeah.
And I also listen to stuff that I don't know if you know a band named like City and Color. They're like an acoustic band. I love acoustic music. I love metal music. There's some rap that I like, not this new age rap stuff, but like the old school rap. I'm
more old school rap guy myself too. Yeah. But Mary's amazing. I love Mary, and I hope you get a chance to meet her. You got to get a high five and a hug from her because there's something magical about Mary's high fives and hugs. She's amazing, amazing human.
We've got some plans coming up that nobody knows about, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Nice.
That's all I can say.
Well, something I need you to talk about, though, and say something about, though, is going back to, we've been alluding to ROKAVET the entire interview. Let's talk about ROKAVET. How did ROKAVET come together, and what does ROKAVET do?
All right, man. ROKAVET was founded by a man named Jason Polk. He's a civilian. His wife is a veteran. He founded ROKAVET, and he did it by himself for a number of years. I want to say, God, he's going to kick my ass if I get it wrong. I want to say since like 2017. He'd probably kick my ass if I get it wrong. But he founded it, and he did it by himself. And he would give away 5 tickets, 10 tickets a year to Rocklahoma. And Rocklahoma is a big thing here in Oklahoma. Like we get to see bands that we would never get to see, like Slipknot, Rob Zombie, and Chevelle, and some crazy ass bands. And for 2 years in a row, I won tickets from him, or from ROKAVET. And my second year, I got a back scratcher. It feels good. My second year of winning tickets from him, I actually won VIP passes and got to go, into the pit. I got to meet some people, and then I finally met Jason face to face. Yeah, I had searched for Jason for 2 years.
Hey, hold on a minute.
Okay.
It froze up again. So,
Good?
yeah. I had to pause it. All right.
All right.
Well, now go back. You were talking about Rocklahoma and your buddy giving away the tickets. And
So it was founded by Jason Polk, and he did it by himself for a minute. He's a civilian, and he wanted to give back to veterans because his wife's a veteran, family's veterans. Like it's something that he just felt passionate about. And so I started entering contests, and 1 year I won regular general admission tickets to Rocklahoma. Had a blast. I searched for Jason around Rocklahoma, never found him because the man was always busy. The second time I won VIP tickets. I searched around, I couldn't find him. I finally found him, and I met Jason. And the second day that I knew Jason, he was like, "Hey, would you want to join ROKAVET and help me out?" And I was like, what? And he was like, "I don't know." He's like, "There's something about you." He was like, "I would love for you to come on and help me with this." And that's something I've always wanted to be involved in the music industry. I've always wanted to be involved in charity. And those two things collided that day when he asked me that. And I couldn't say anything but hell yes. And so we came together that day, and we brought together a team of people, Coda, Keith, and Greg. We have a committee of 5 people. And last year we gave away over 100 passes to Rocklahoma. And, those aren't cheap. It's $400 a pass.
mm-hmm.
And we supply the veterans with, and it's we do veterans, first responders, Gold Star families, cops, firefighters, whatever. And we supply them with their passes, and we'll find a place for them to camp. They can camp right next to me if they want to. And man, it changed my life. Like, it showed me that there's people out there that care. And like, our motto is music is medicine. And I've always loved music. Music's always had like a place. You listen to a certain song and it touches you in it touches you in a certain way. And I've always felt that. But then joining that group, it opened up something else in me that I never thought that I had in me, which was like a giving heart and like a passionate person about, charity. I've always loved charity, but I never looked at myself as a charitable person. And to be able to be a part of this group has been nothing short of amazing. This year, or that's 2025, 2024, at the end of last year, we got our official 501c3 or 3, whatever it is. We got our nonprofit status. And man, that's opened up so many doors for us. Corey Taylor recorded a video giving us a shout out. I got one of his masks on my wall and his autograph. Like, he sent out a message and let people know that ROKAVET is something. And like I said, our buddy Frank Nito that took his own life last year, he was with Corey Taylor not too long before he took his life. And Frank is now a part of Mary and the Taylor Foundation's thing, and also a part of ROKAVET's thing. And Rocklahoma this year, finally, after all these years that Jason's been working his ass off, Rocklahoma itself actually reached out and gave us passes themselves to give out. So we're able to give out a pass a month now to Rocklahoma starting this month. And that's not on top of the people that donate. We have an amazing group of people in Rocklahoma that will buy a ticket. They'll buy a general admission ticket that's, $300. Or they'll buy a rock star ticket that's $1,200, $1,400. And they'll donate it to us. and then we do contests and we give those tickets back to the veterans. And between our admins, we try to make sure that we meet that veteran, that we shake that veteran's hand, that we hug that veteran's neck, and we let them know that, hey, we're here. We care. This isn't just about the concert. This isn't just about the music. Like, we want to be a community that cares. We want to be somebody that's there for you, that can steer you in the right way for your mental health, for your family, for whatever you need. And ROKAVET has changed my life. If it wasn't for ROKAVET, I probably still wouldn't be sober. If it wasn't for Jason and Heath and Coda and Greg and Mary, to be honest, I probably wouldn't be sober right now. But they've showed me a way. I get a high off of giving back. And to be able to see somebody in a crowd. I brought a veteran up to the VIP seating with me last year for Slipknot. And they had never been in VIP seating. They had never seen Slipknot that close. And I'm talking like, 30 to 50 feet away. And to see a veteran smile, or to see the expression on their face, to be that close to a band that speaks to them, oh man, dude, that means the world. Like,
oh yeah,
holy cow. And I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a big Chevelle fan, but to see Chevelle live, wow, their music like really gets to you like live. And ROKAVET has just we've grown so much, and I'm so proud of Jason for founding this group and for bringing us on. And this year we have some amazing things coming. I'm not allowed to fucking say them. Like, as of right now, anybody knows we have 9 tickets to give away. We have a ticket a month to give away. That's all I'm allowed to say right now. But ROKAVET has some big things coming in the future. We got our nonprofit. We have some amazing sponsors from around the Oklahoma area, from the Arkansas area, from different camps at Rocklahoma that really do a lot, and we appreciate them. Surviving Rocklahoma is the official podcast of Rocklahoma. Adam, man, we've got some things coming up this year that's going to blow people's mind, and it feels good to be a part of something that's giving. I feel like I'm giving a piece of me to somebody else. Like, I know what going to Rocklahoma and having that experience means. So to be able to give that to somebody for the first time, and to see their, the way they feel when they see that for the first time, God, that means so much. Like
one thing I've learned in my recovery journey too, man, is like when we're helping others, we're helping ourselves. And, when we're busy serving others and helping other people, it gets us back. Like we were talking about earlier, when we're stuck in our own head and we're fighting that enemy in our head, when we're focused on somebody else, man, it takes us out of that, Yeah,
like I said, it's a high to be able to get. It literally is a high to be able to give back to somebody. Like, I still buy my own tickets to Rocklahoma. I pay for my tickets to Rocklahoma. I don't take from the group. I make sure that what we given to the group, and all of us do, we make sure that we give that back to the veterans. We don't take anything from it. Like, so yeah, no, I get it. It's a high to be able to. It's a high. It really is.
Talking about ROKAVET and stuff, for like any of the veterans that are watching this or listening to this, like where would you send them to learn about ROKAVET, and then how do they go about, like, I guess applying or getting their name into any of the contests?
Right now, all right, we're working on our website. We've got rockavet.org and we've got rockavet.com. Those are not built yet. We are working on building those websites right now. But on Facebook, if they look up ROKAVET, ROK, ROKAVET, just ROKAVET, one word. They can get on there, and we're going to have a contest every month, and we're going to give away one ticket a month. But in the end, we wind up giving away about 50 to 100 passes. But if they go on ROKAVET on Facebook and just join the group, stay active in the group, talk to other people, talk to the admins, post stuff, enter the contest. We'll put like quizzes up there. Like that's something we've been doing lately. Like, you know, post a picture of yourself shaking another veteran's hand, and you do that, and you'll win a ticket to a concert, or you'll win a ticket to Rocklahoma. Like it's that simple. Like we want to see our veterans and our first responders give back to their community, or to give back to their fellow veterans, and then we'll help them carry on and come over and party with us at Rocklahoma.
Nice.
And at Rocklahoma, we partner with, it's called, you know, the Rocklahoma's Big Old Bus, and it's an amazing experience to be at the Big Old Bus. It's thousands of people piled around the back of the school bus with a stripper pole on it. We have fun. You'll see me on stage in a Speedo. We cook breakfast burritos and Speedos for our veterans. We do all kinds of stuff, man. And like I said, this year, out of all the years, we have some big stuff cooking that I can't speak about. I really wish I could. I wish I would have got permission to speak on it, but I can't.
Well, if they follow on Facebook, that's where they'll hear about it first, then, right?
And as of right now, on Facebook is our main thing, and we are a nonprofit. Like, we are official through the state, a nonprofit. We do have our nonprofit status. Yes. Nice.
Man, well, Christian, man, we've gone like an hour. And I'm glad we got to talk about, you know, your journey, your story, and also, you know, what ROKAVET is doing for our fellow veterans. Now, before we get ready to wrap up, I want to ask you a couple of the questions that I normally ask guests that I have on here. Big music fan. I haven't asked this one. Well, let me ask you this first. Who are your top 3 musical artists?
Top 3. Slipknot would be number 1, or Corey Taylor. Number 2 would be Avenged Sevenfold. Number 3 would be City and Color, or his name is Dallas Green, but he's an acoustic player. He also plays for a band called Alexis on Fire. But okay, they're my top 3. God, I can go on about that. Next weekend, I'm going to see Smells Like Nirvana, and then I'm going to see Cold. You know, but my top 3 are Slipknot, Avenged Sevenfold, and City and Color.
Now,
and Widow 7. These right here are my guys. They've been to Rocklahoma a couple of times. They've supported us. I love those guys. If you get a chance, look them up.
Yeah, I think they've played some of the festivals near me before too.
They
played the Winter Festival. So
yes, they played a bunch.
Look out for them again. And then, you know, you were talking about how music, you know, it moves us and touches us. Is there a particular song that's like one of your go-tos, you know, on your, you know, playlist that still inspires you today that you put on?
Oh man. So Far Away by Avenged Sevenfold. That one gets me. A Little Piece of Heaven by Avenged Sevenfold. Anything Corey Taylor touches also. Like, I love Slipknot as a whole. Like, I really do. But anything Corey Taylor does as an individual, Smile Empty Soul, if you know some old school stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had
yeah.
I'm on the podcast. Good dude.
Yeah, you've had Sean on there. I saw that. Yeah. Sean's an awesome dude. Eternal Frequency. They're from Pennsylvania. They're an awesome female-led band. Tantric is another band.
No, yeah, I had Hugo on here, man. Great.
Okay, there you go. See,
Great dude. He's the one that was like, we were talking. We spent most of the time talking about what was going on in North Carolina.
I hung out with Hugo last year at a place called Rock the Ripper on the Illinois River. I love those guys. Josie Scott from the original voice of Saliva, not Saliva now, but Josie Scott himself. He's come back now, and he's doing all of his old originals. And he's got his son as his guitarist, and he's assembled a local Oklahoma band as his band now. And I try to go to every single one of their concerts, and they're amazing. And then Cold, When Angels Fly Away, that's a song.
Nice.
That's it. I listened to that in Iraq, and that was probably one of the most touching songs that I went through in my deployment was When Angels Fly Away by Cold.
Gotcha. And then who are 3 people who've inspired you and you can credit for making you the person you are today?
Jason Polk, the founder of ROKAVET. God, Jason's done a lot for me, man. I love that guy. Jason Polk, Corey Taylor, in all honesty, what he does for the veterans, I've watched him interact. Try not to tear up. I've watched him interact with some of my friends and do stuff. And then Jelly Roll has wrote me every single year on my anniversary of my sobriety and told me happy anniversary.
Oh, nice.
Jelly Roll's done a lot. Like that's a real dude right there.
Oh yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him before too, man. Amazing.
He's wrote me for the past 3 years on October 1st and told me happy anniversary. Good job on another year being sober. That means a lot. Like,
oh hell yeah.
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 But I would say Jason, Corey, and Jelly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then on a cheerier note, man, going back to childhood, favorite toy as a child?
Oh man, my Ninja Turtle van. I had the Ninja Turtles van that they rode around in with April and all that stuff. I got that on like my 5th or 6th birthday. And it had the little slide out thing where Michelangelo slid out and did his shit. That for some reason that toy sticks out in my mind. I love the Ninja Turtles like turtle van.
Yeah, nice. And then any message you have for our military brothers and sisters currently serving overseas?
Man, currently serving or have been serving or has served, you keep your head up. Things on the horizon that you can do, no matter what you see, no matter the bad shit that you go through, the nightmares that you may have, the thoughts that may intrude your mind. There's someone out there that'll talk to you. You can reach out to me 100%. Christian Hopkins on ROKAVET. I will talk to you at 3:00 in the morning, 988. Whatever you have to do. 22 veterans a day commit suicide by their own volition, and then 44 actually die a day from suicide when you involve addiction with it, when you involve overdoses. And I would love to see that come down. Drugs are not the answer. They may numb it for the moment, but I promise you in the end, it's not the answer. I would love to see my brothers and sisters come home from war and from the things that they've seen and be at peace. I wish they could find the peace that I've found. And I don't know the words or the directions to spread them, to direct them to that peace. But I've finally found peace. I go through my rough days a lot. You know, I still go through them right now. You know, no bullshit. But I would love to see them come home and find peace and know that what they did, whether people think it was right or wrong, I want them to know that they did what they were told and they did what they thought was right. And they should be proud of what they did. And they kept this country safe. They kept their kids safe. They kept their families safe. And put on some music, man. Music is medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Music is medicine. No matter if it's the most depressing shit you've ever heard, the most aggressive shit, the funniest shit, whatever it is, music is medicine. And that, I want to drive that home. Put on some music. I'm one of those people that if I get depressed, I'll put on the most depressing shit in the world. And for some reason, that music will bring me out of my depression. I don't get it, but it does that. I'll be sad and I'll be depressed, but I can put on depressing music, and it brings me out of that depression and brings me up to another level. There's other people out there that are going through what you're going through. And if you reach out through the right connections, you'll find those people and you can talk to those people and never give up. Don't ever think that you're not enough. Don't ever think that you've done wrong. Always reach out to somebody before you make a rash decision. Don't ever make a rash decision before making a phone call, at least one phone call. Call someone. Whether it be 988, whether it be a battle buddy, no matter what it is, make a phone call. If you ever get in that rut, make a phone call.
Amen, man. Christian, man, I thank you for your time, brother. And thanks for just, being authentic on here, man. You know, it's good to, I appreciate it when vets get together and are able to talk and get things off their chest, man. And hopefully, inspire some of our brothers and sisters out there that are listening. You know?
I hope so. And ROKAVET, like I said, ROKAVET on Facebook. And you can find me, Christian Hopkins. They call me Trippy Vet, the shirtless MC. Like I said, I've got aliens tattooed all over me. I'm always shirtless. But you can find me. You can find Jason Polk, Heath, Coda, Greg. We're all admins on that group, and we can all steer you in the right way. We can give you some kind of direction on ROKAVET. And I really wish that anyone would reach out to us at any time. I don't care if it's, 8 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. Reach out, please.
Nice. And then one last favor from you before we get ready and wrap up here, man. You mind cutting a promo ID for my show? Just like introduce yourself, representing with ROKAVET, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
What's up? This is Trippy Vet, a.k.a. Christian Hopkins, representing ROKAVET from Oklahoma. You're checking out today's Boondoggles. Hey, Trippy.
Awesome. It's like you've done this before, man. That was good. Sweet, man. Hey, man, I'm glad we were able to finally get this done today, man. And we'll be keeping in touch, dude.
I needed this. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You take care, man. Stay warm.
You too, brother.